A lot of news to tell you about from around the QMJHL. We'll start with October's Players of the Month. Forward of the month is Shawinigan's Xavier Bourgault, who had 24 points in 12 games. The honorable mention goes to overager for Charlottetown, the 20-year-old Xavier Simoneau, who had 19 points in 10 games. Defenseman of the month, 19-year-old Miguel Tourigny of the Blainville-Boisbriand Armada, had 17 points in 13 games. Honorable mention goes to 19-year-old Lucas Cormier, who had 14 points in 13 games on the Charlottetown blue line. Goaltender of the month, overage netminder Remy Poirier of the Gatineau Olympique, had a record of 3-2-2, 211 goals against, and a .928 save percentage. Honorable mention, 19-year-old Antoine Colombe of the Shawinigan Cataracts. Eagles will likely see him on Saturday. He had a record of 5-1, goals against, 233, save percentage of .917. Rookie of the month, David Spacek, the 18-year-old from Sherbrooke, and he had a good month, 12 points in 11 games. Honorable mention at Tyler Peddle, the 16-year-old from Drummondville, 10 points in 12 games. Team of the week is out also. Xavier Simoneau again from Charlottetown, 6 points in 3 games this week. Xavier Bourgault was also named to the CHL's Team of the Week as well as the Player of the Week in the Q. He had 10 points this past week. 19-year-old Olivier Nadeau also on the Team of the Week up front. He had 7 points in 2 games. The 2 defensemen of the week this week, Michel Pellerin of the Chicoutimi-Saguenay had 4 points in 3 games. The overage defenseman, Zachary Cardinal of Rouyn-Noranda, the 19-year-old blue liner, had 3 points in 3 games. Goaltender of the week is Ivan Zagaloff, the 18-year-old of Sherbrooke, 2-0 record, a save percentage of .947 and a goals against of 1.50. A lot of suspensions going down in the queue as of late. Of course, we know Jack Campbell, the Eagles, missing tonight's game after he was an instigator in the final 5 minutes against Gatineau. Jack Campbell has 3 points in 13 games. The Eagles are going to benefit from a suspension indirectly, as 18-year-old Victoria forward Maxime Pellerin is going to miss 2 games for high sticking, and one of those games will be Friday against Cape Breton. He has 7 points in 13 games this year. Blainville-Boisbriand taking a hit to their defense as a pair of 20-year-olds, Simon Lavigne and Alex Jonka, both suspended. Lavigne gets 2 games for boarding. He has 8 assists in 13 games this year. Jonka given 2 games for a check to the head. He has 3 points in 13 games. Of course, this year on the broadcast, try to keep you up to date on injuries around the QMJHL, and the big news coming down the pipe, Maverick Bourque of the Shawinigan Cataracts expected to be out for 2 months, which is a blow to his World Junior hopes. Not good news regarding the Dallas Stars first rounder. 12 points in 9 games thus far this year. Former Eagles draft pick Colby Huggan is out for an unknown length of time. He has 1 assist in 13 games. Hopefully that's just a minor injury. Victoriaville may be without 16-year-old rookie forward Justin LaRose for their game against the Eagles. He has an unknown upper body injury. 3 points in 10 games in his rookie year. Rugged Charlottetown forward Ben Boyd is out 1 to 2 weeks with an upper body injury. 3 points in 11 games for him thus far this year. Charles Baudouin, the 19-year-old Shawinigan forward, may not play against the Eagles this weekend. He's day-to-day with a lower body injury. 4 points in 11 games for him. And this is an oddity, to say the least. Drummondville missing 3 defensemen with injuries right now. 17-year-old Drew Madigan, a Nova Scotian guy. He's out 1 week with a lower body injury. He's played in 10 games this year. 18-year-old Mikel Diot is out 1 week. He has 3 assists in 12 games. And an upper body injury to 19-year-old defenseman Keelan Gauthier, who's played 11 games for Drummondville this year. So a lot of injuries on that Drummondville back end. News out of St. John. The St. John Sea Dogs have been running with 1 assistant coach, but they have hired another. His name is Travis Crickert. He's the new assistant coach there. He'd spent 6 years as a goaltender coach and an assistant coach with both Ottawa and Kelowna. Was actually serving as the head coach of the Waterloo Wolves in the U18 Alliance League in Ontario prior to landing with the Sea Dogs. Minor trade to tell you about in the queue. Kevin Brassard is on his way to Chicoutimi from Bathurst. The goaltender was actually playing with the Miramichi Timberwolves in the MHL. Last year, he had a 1-3 record in 9 games with Rouyn-Noranda, .835 save percentage. Roster note to tell you about in the queue. Elliot Lavoie leaving the Baie-Comeau Drakkar to focus on school. He had 5 assists in his last 44 games between this year and last year. Originally was actually a second-round pick in the queue by Drummondville. A commit to tell you about, Bailey Peach, the former Charlottetown Islander and Sherbrooke Phoenix, will be headed to Acadia University next year. He had 107 points in his Q career over 184 games with Sherbrooke and Charlottetown. And in an interesting story, actually landed in the WHL this year as an overager with the Victoria Royals, has 9 points in 12 games there this season. Not very often you see Q players jumping over to the WHL.